Good afternoon, everybody, and a very warm welcome. We just wrapped up a very exciting session on the impact of COVID-19 on the wide format printing industry and the way forward for printing industry stakeholders. We had a panel and we were looking at their recommendations to everybody. And I think my biggest takeaway from that was that we had a mixed but still quite optimistic outlook. People know that the situation is serious, but their outlook is optimistic, which is extremely important. So many of you who were also with us in the previous session know that technological advancements have always been a key differentiator for brands, and printing industry players will have to continue to up their game post the lockdown to ensure business continuity. Innovations in digital textile printing is one of the key aspects that is what we aim to highlight in this session, with a focus on the new era of industrial machines and its performance. And for this, we have with us today a textile printing specialist who comes with 15 years of rich experience and has worked with some of the top Indian textile printing companies. So, Charles, I would like to thank you for being here with us.
Thank you.
Charles Arputhaswamy, textile printing consultant. And now over to you. And yeah, thank you for being here.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hope everyone is safe and all well. So happy to welcome you on board for this session. And me, Charles Arputhaswamy, presenting this session on behalf of Screen Print India, Messi Frankfurt. And here for I have last 15 years practicing screen printing technology, and actually I qualified as a BE Electricals and Electronics engineer, but by profession I am a printing technician. So last 15 years I worked with the top brands and top companies in India, and I share my experience through seminars, workshops, and exhibitions in some factories. So these are things I'm doing it. And especially for last 2 years, I'm practicing specific only on digital printing. So that's why I'm here to get you in what is digital print, and especially on the industrial digital printing machines. So this is the thing, and we have a poll of 4 questions in the in between the seminar or webinar, and yes, the participant can answer to the questions. So yes, we can start. So Michael, I need to share one of my PowerPoint.
Charles, you can just share screen.
Okay.
Okay, for the polling questions, I would suggest we take 10-15 seconds only, and then we immediately display the results.
Is it visible? You can see my screen?
No, not yet.
I think it's disabled. Dale, can you make it
Yes.
enable?
One second. Can you do it now? Try now.
I'm trying it. Yeah. I think it's visible, right?
Yep.
Okay. So today we are going to learn what is industrial digital machine and how it's going to perform and how it's performing in this new era. So people know what is digital print. So digital is just everyone knows it's like a printing on a paper. So the printers which we have in our home or in our offices. So it's most probably it is similar, but there are certain things which a digital machine. Uh, sorry, one minute. Yeah. So we can see what is really a digital printer is. So digital printer is the process of making prints from electronic file. The artwork is created on a computer and directly printed onto the material. The material means any substrate like fabric, paper, and in any type of metals materials. So in fact, digital printing is an alternative and traditional printing methods such as flexography, lithography, offset print, letterpress, grave, even screen print, and others. So you can see how digital printing work. So the image need for printing is directly sent to the printer through a digital file such as PDF, TIFF, and nowadays we can directly transfer uh, a Photoshop file or any other file or image file and many other formats. So the process is ideal for printing that requires smaller quantity with high amount of details. The process doesn't include pre-press stages between the document file and the final output. So there is nothing required like pre-pressing or preparation of anything for a digital printing. Pre-press stages are mandatory in most of the other traditional printing methods out there. So for example, in screen print, we need lots of pre-press things. We have to take more steps to get an output of a print. On the other hand, you don't need messy formatting equipment such as photochemicals and film plates and other processes. So here are the most important stages of digital printing. In fact, your print will come out perfectly when you follow these steps in digital printing. So in a printing machine, in an industrial printing, digital printing machine, I will explain you these things. What is digital printing or DTG printing we call. It's the first one is it's a printing machine. So industrial digital printing machine is a digital printer, however, no impact printing process to print a device fires drops of ink from a print heads onto the substrate. This is what it's happening on a digital machine. So it's a device, it's an electronic device which pumps or which fires a drops of inks, very thin drops of inks onto the fabric or the fabric. Industrial digital printers can be divided into variety of different categories. Nowadays, these industrial digital printers are very famous in the markets. So it is divided into these three categories. One is high volume printing, the other is super wide format, the third one is high resolution. So high volume, we call it mass production. So industrial machine is made for mass production only. So these system prints at the speed measured at number of prints per hour or square meters per hour. I mentioned here as a square meter. So there is wide range of digital printing machine. Maybe we can call it sublimation machine also, digital printing machine, and direct to fabric, roll to roll fabric machine is there. That's also is there. So it depends on what volume and how much quantity the machine prints. So the second thing is super wide format. These printers are generally roll to roll and have to print bed that is a width of from 2 to 5 meter wide. These machines are now available from that is less than 1 meter to 3 meters wide. Generally, they are capable to print from 60 to 120 square meters per hour. So in a wide format, super wide format digital printing machine, in a roll to roll printing machine, this is the capability. And for a high volume printing, which is printing a t-shirt or a chest print, nowadays it's printing up to 100,000 prints, hundreds on on a t-shirt. So the third point is high resolution. It is normally a super wide digital printers to function at maximum resolution between 300 dpi around and up to 1040 dpi. So I have a machine over here. I am using it. I am printing it for last 1 year, which is required a very less dpi to get a very perfect and clear picture. So what is heads? The heads on the industrial printing machines. Print heads are printers using PZT, that is lead zirconium titanate crystals, and as micropumps are eject and droplets from the nozzles. The crystals deforms to generate a shock wave in the fluid inks, which in turns ejects a drop from the nozzle. A combination of surface tension, capillary pressure, and other complex fluid dynamics ensure that the fluid is refilled ready for the next fire cycle. So every time this particular device or the head which pumps a small drops of inks wherever it is necessary. So each heads is carrying each color to print a particular design. So it knows where to drop the ink, and which has n number of nozzles which ranges from 2000 to 7000. So print heads are marvels of modern engineering, able to preciously place thousands of drops of ink of differing sizes exactly where it needed. So it's differentiated sizes, the thickness of the ink wherever it is required. So generally in the market, the famous head producers are Quasira and Epson. They are the good head producers for digital of an industrial machines. So what are the ink systems we have? The ink system in a digital printing machine for the textile, I say uh, we have to go for water-based inks. So the core of any digital printing system is the ink. There are three types of inks used on digital printing: water-based inks, solvent inks, and UV inks. So these inks are used in a digital head or digital printing machine for a different substrate which can be get printed. So for basically people use water-based inks on the fabric or a textile, solvent inks which is on plastic like wood, and UV inks. Obviously, we can print it on any substance or substrate. Water-based ink is the cheapest and the most sustainable carrier on textile. This is very important. So every head for a textile printing machine, we use water-based inks. And the basic inks is cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. So these are the inks which carries on the heads, which pumps to get n number of colors. So some manufacturer makes green, orange, gray to increase for the increased color gamut. So if you need a particular green mixing of yellow and cyan, which gives a little bit yellowish green or a bluish green. So if you use a direct uh, green, which gives a perfect green color. So what are the processes involved in industrial digital printing? So the first stage is pre-treatment. So for printing every textile, we need a pre-treatment chemical. So the fabric should be pre-treated or coated with a particular type of chemical. So the next is drying, and the third step is printing. Then it's go for a curing and pressing if required. So what is pre-treatment? Digital printing is about printing dots. So we all know with very tiny small dots, the heads pumps or fires onto the fabric. If a pre-treatment can be used, that less expensive than the ink. So what it says is, if a pre-treatment is not used or covered or coated on the fabric, we can even print on the fabric. The results, the ink, we need to pump more onto the fabric because the fabric absorbs more ink to get a clarity or give a result. If pre-treatment is not used, one more big issue is there, which it's very tiny drops which will get spreaded onto the fabric, and you will not get a sharp image. So pre-treatment is being used. Without a pre-treatment, more ink dives into the fabric, leading to the need to use even more inks to increase color, vibrancy, and achieve the sought after look. The quality of the printing is the preparation of pre-treatment largely determines the printing result as well as the color fastness in digital textile printing. Yes, it's the pre-treatment is used for the fastness also. It can hold the ink and it will not allow the ink to wash it off or get merged or smashed or get rid of the fabric. So pigment printing can be applied independently of the fabric substrate. Besides pigments, also the binders have to pad it or print it onto the fabrics in order to fix the pigment and to achieve the requested levels of fastness. So what is pre-treatment? Pre-treatment is a pre-coat binders or polymers. It is all manufacturing chemical manufacturers, they develop according to what type of inks we are using, and this is just a binder or a polymers which holds the inks, uh, which doesn't allow go inside to the fabric. It's a top coat thing. So we have a pre-treatment machine. I'm using it for last 1 year, which is the machine which sprays with the nozzles where the digital print is required. It sprays only on the area where the print is required. So the next step is drying the
Charles,
pre-treatment. Hello.
before we go in, continue up our session, let's just ask our attendees some few more questions about themselves.
Yeah.
So I'm launching another poll.
Yep.
Maybe our attendees can just give us their answers to this.
Okay.
Could you leave the result of the poll for a few seconds so that people can see the result of it, please?
Yes, I'll do that.
Thank you. Okay, now the results.
So we see around 36% of our attendees are still new into this industry.
Yeah, so we are going on the right way. So the 36% of people are newly into the field. So yes, we are on the right way.
This session will be helpful.
Yeah.
Another one, just to know something more. Here, Charles.
Yeah, that's nice informations we are sharing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, you can now continue.
Okay. Yeah, we are back. So the next steps is drying the pre-treatment. So we all know what is binders and polymers, which is need to get dried with a very low temperature. So if it is not dried, you will get when the ink pumps or sprays onto the fabric to get a design, it will merge or smashed. It will not give a sharp image. So pre-treatment, it should be dried for a textile digital printing. The other one is printing digital. We have different types of digital printing machine in the market. Uh, machines which only print only CMYK in a small format, which can be loaded only one garment or something. So some machines we have with white inks over there with CMYK, we can print as an underbase white inks, spraying white inks with the print heads, and over that we can print CMYK. Some have hybrid, which is a mix of screen and we print the underbase with a screen. It's a white, titanium white, or we call it a non-PVC ink or something. Or that we can print it CMYK. Some brands like in the market, the oval screen printing machines, the manufacturers have a digital SKUs, which is very uh, new to the market last 2-3 years. It is very famous now also, and they are using the base with the screen, and on the same machine they are attaching the hybrid digital SKUG, which can print over the white. So these are the machines available in the market. So next, printing digital. So the dried fabrics where the pre-treatment is applied, which that fabric is to go into a digital print. So probably you need to print where the pre-treatment is applied. So inks will be uh, pushed through the heads on the particular area where the pre-treatment is applied. That will get into give a proper result of the print. So next, the process is curing. Yes, curing is required in all water-based inks, especially on textile digital print, because we are using water-based ink CMYK. So this should go into the curing process to get bond or get fixed. After that, it will not go into any durable issue or something. Pressing is a small step which is maybe required. It depends on the fabric. Some fabrics we have fibers. It's not bio washed or something, and some fabrics it's called PK fabrics. Some fabrics it's a mix of uh, viscose. So these fabrics having a little bit fibers, so it stays up, and the fibers will not hold the inks properly. So if you press the print, it will have a smooth and good hand feel. And very important thing is, if you print on a dark base like black, red, and navy, you need to have to print a white underbase. So over that you will print the CMYK. So that needs to be pressed to get a perfect super hand fill. So the next is how cost is being calculated. So in a industrial digital setup, you need to look into the basic, only these 6 points of cost you have to look at. One is the pre-treatment cost. Pre-treatment is a chemical which used to print, which used to coat on the fabric. So you need to look at what's the pre-treatment chemical cost, and what's the process, how we will pre-treat on the fabric, what amount of machine, what amount of manpower is being involved, and that's called pre-treatment cost. Ink cost. Inks, yes, we have different types of inks, different brands of inks in the market, and it depends on different rates from the market. So you need to calculate according to what ink you are using onto the machine, what cost you are using ink cost what you are using in the machine to get an output of print. So ink cost is very important. Manpower, yes, in digital print, if you compare with any other print like screen print or a litho print, digital print, manpower is very less. For example, you can have, if you have one industrial machine, you can print uh, 2000 to 3000 prints or t-shirts per shift. It means 8 hour shifts, which can handled easily by 3 to 4 people. That's the maximum manpower you require. So manpower cost is again important. Machine maintenance cost, yes, every head which is having a particular lifetime when it is in a proper working or not working. So there is a maintenance cost of head. Filters were used from the machines, and pads and other things which is used on the machines having a particular maintenance even after a particular period. So we have to calculate a maintenance cost. Overheads, yes, overheads I can describe every digital machine which runs on a particular temperature. So the room temperature should be maintained. So we need a AC covered room. Humidifier, yes, humidity is very important to a print head. So we need to calculate this. These are as overheads. Depreciation, of course, if we are putting more money, investing more money on a digital machine to get it, you need to calculate depreciation in a calculated cost. So if you ask, is digital printing a profit business? I say yes, because last 2 years I'm very specifically working on this business. So these are the points you are seeing on the screens which are gets eliminated from a digital printing. So these are the points which has to be involved in other types of print like screen print or in table print or something like that. So design